Welcome in everybody to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host Michael Darcy, and today I'm joined by Michael Hepner, and we're going to break down what the Kansas City Chiefs must do to win in the playoffs. Chiefs Kingdom, we have a very special video topic for today. We're going to break down what we believe the Kansas City Chiefs must do to win in the playoffs, because Chiefs Kingdom, this question is much more loaded than it seems. So, as we all know, the Chiefs went into the playoffs last year with quite possibly the worst defense I've ever seen. But besides that, they were still able to win a game, a home playoff game, against the Colts. But this year, with a better defense and a better team overall, we have higher expectations going into the playoffs. So, Michael, how do you think the Chiefs can prevail in the playoffs with a different team with a defense that is actually helping them out?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our offense isn't going to need to win the game, but there's still, I feel, a little bit of pressure for them to play a little bit better. I mean, the last couple of weeks, they've been better than what some parts of the season have been, but it just, the running game has improved a little bit, but I still feel like the receivers especially need to step up. I mean, Kelsey dropped a couple passes last week or 2 weeks ago, but it's just everybody needs to do their job and do it well. Because I remember that Titans game 2 or 3 years ago, and just no one looked remotely like themselves after a certain point in the game. Like, Kelsey was dropping passes.
Kelsey left the game with a concussion, but I mean, nobody was playing good football. Alex Smith couldn't move the ball. The defense choked in the second half.
Well, I mean, the defense, to be fair, wasn't playing great at all. I mean, like, Marcus Mariota caught his own touchdown pass. Like,
true.
You don't get worse than that. But I don't know. I just think that really they need to figure out what the heck is going on offense and get it figured out well. Because I'm sure that there's things that they've had in their back pockets for weeks.
Well, I'm sure they're holding stuff back. Andy Reid is one of the most brilliant head coaches in the history of the NFL. You're telling me that he's just throwing it all out there in a Week 14 game? Nah, that did not happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's trying to look at what has happened with himself in the past, what he's done, and kind of how to flip
the switch.
Yeah, and kind of like everyone goes into the playoffs going, oh, Andy Reid's going to do this, Andy Reid's going to do that, and he's going to try and figure out how to trick them into, I don't know, maybe a certain defensive coverage or use someone as a decoy, but really they're not the decoy, kind of a thing. So it'll be interesting to see what they do on offense. But they need, if Damian Williams can run the way he's run the last 2 weeks, and
we're going to be great. We're going to be in great shape.
I mean, having a run game like that, defense has been playing well. I wouldn't say that they're where they should be. I mean, they need to get a lot better, because we saw the Chargers basically expose the true defense. I mean, we haven't really played a good offense until then. We weren't playing bad offenses. I mean, it's still hard to hold teams to 3 points or, no touchdowns per game, but you definitely need to step it up, because Phillip Rivers kind of showed us that we're not as great as some people are saying, but we're still better than we were when we first played, I don't know, the Titans or even the Texans. I mean, everyone we might play in the playoffs, basically.
Well, the defense is going to get tested, and I think that as long as they can make enough stops, I mean, last year the Chiefs' defense couldn't do anything. They let the opposing offenses march down the field, take up 5 to 10 minutes on one drive, and that kind of just tired them out, and it allowed for the offense to sit on the bench. If this Chiefs defense can just do enough to get off the field and let this offense come back on, the Chiefs aren't going to lose, because last year the Chiefs were a coin flip away from going to the Super Bowl with the worst defense that I've ever seen, in my opinion. I mean, they were bad. So I think that as long as this Chiefs team can play good on defense, because they're going to get tested, but if Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark can step up along with Terrell Suggs and be a leader and play well on the field, it's going to translate into a defense that looks like a top 10. And also, I think that Andy Reid needs to make a few adjustments. He needs to run the ball more. It just needs to happen, because, quite frankly, if the Chiefs do get out to a big lead, which is quite possible, they need to be able to run the ball and milk the clock.
Well, I kind of flip what you said and say that they need to run the ball more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like seeing Mahomes play, and I like seeing Mahomes throw, and I want him to throw more than he has. But at the same time, Mahomes should be making a lot better plays. I mean, throughout the season, there were times where and I kind of get it. Like, take what the defense gives you. If they give you easy 10 yards, go for the 10 yards rather than trying to make the 50-yard pass for a touchdown. But there have been countless times where, if he just throws the football right in a way that he normally does, he could hit Tyreek Hill for a 50-yard pass. We're already down the field. Now let's just run the football, and if we don't get it, we kick a field goal. It's situations like that, especially near the end of the game, the second half, that need to improve. I mean, they can go in right now, and I feel like they could do well and they could get to the Super Bowl. But I don't want a team that could. I want a team that will, a team that definitely can do it. I don't want to be winning games by 3 points because we drove down the field and got a field goal right at the end of the game. Which again, a win is a win.
Yeah, I'll win at any cost.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I want a team that can score 40 points in the first half and then withhold that lead, maybe kicking 2 or 3 field goals just to keep that comfort level of, oh, well, they scored another 3 touchdowns on them, but we didn't have to prevent them from scoring a single touchdown.
Yeah.
Just preventing them from getting the 5 or 4 or however many they needed. So
the Chiefs just need to keep their foot on the gas pedal. That's been their biggest problem. They've been really good in the first half and haven't done anything in the second half, or they've done absolutely nothing in the first half and they've came back and won it in the second. So the Chiefs just need to play 4 good quarters of quality football, and that's enough to beat any team. I'm confident as of right now that they will get it done if they can just keep their foot on the pedal and just don't let up, because teams like the Texans, the Ravens, and even if you get to the Super Bowl, the 49ers, they very well could come back because they have those high-powered offenses. So this Chiefs defense, even though I do trust them, they just have to make sure that they can let this offense score enough points to give them a comfortable lead.
Yeah, and I mean, if they want to go further, they need to figure out, like, because I mean, the team has a lot of potential to be better than what they are now, which is kind of weird to think about, because normally at this time of the year, the team has kind of already found its identity, but I still feel like defensively they're still trying to figure out, because I mean,
the Chiefs have a defensive identity. In my opinion, we're going to turn the ball over and we're going to turn the ball over and give it back to the offense and let them go to work. I think that they've really established one in the past few weeks.
But like offensively, I just feel like they know who they are, but they just don't care, or like, I don't know what it is, but they just don't.
I bet
they're
you
not
think
who
I
they
bet
are
yeah.
supposed to be, in my opinion. Like offensively,
I don't think they're playing to the capabilities that they could.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I couldn't say that, but the point is basically what you just said. Is like, take Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has the capability to put up
2 or 3 touchdowns
every season, 3 touchdowns a game, 100 yards a game, easy. But half the time we don't take advantage of that. I mean, I can recall, so many times this season where, I don't know whether it would be Tony Romo or someone in the booth would just be like, Tyreek Hill was wide open right there. That's an easy touchdown. It's just Mahomes didn't look deep, because I feel like, too, Andy Reid has had something to play with this, where it's kind of like, don't always go for that deep ball, which is great, because I think that was a huge problem last year, and why our defense struggled a lot was because the offense was all, let's get the deep ball, let's get the touchdown, let's do it as quickly as possible.
But and one thing that I've noticed is they've been able to throw the ball and still go on 7 to 8 minute drives, which is incredible.
Yes, but at the same time, is they kind of doom themselves in situations where, you're at the 20-yard line, or you start deep in your own territory, and then you get to the 50, and you've taken 5 minutes off the clock, but they just can't finish the drive. They get up to the 50, and then someone gets a penalty, or someone's not running the ball well, or the passing game just stops for whatever reason, and now you're stuck at the 50, and you have to punt the ball rather than at least getting a field goal out of your drive. And I feel like that's hurt them a lot, and it will hurt them in the playoffs if they can't do that, because these are playoff teams now. This isn't the regular season where you're pretty much just, I mean, at a certain point in the regular season, you just kind of stop caring, because you're like, well, we're in the playoffs now. let's not do anything stupid. Let's not hurt ourselves. Let's not.
All these games are meaningful.
Yeah, and everyone's going to play like this is a Super Bowl. Like, this is the last chance for their organization to.
Yeah, it's win or go home, and teams
exactly.
don't want to go home.
So it's a whole nother mentality, and I don't know if they can do it. I think they will. I think they can, and it's just a matter of finding that rhythm early in the games, getting those points up, and then just not stopping.
The Chiefs need to come out in the playoffs with something to prove because, quite honestly, they have the most pressure on them. They have a long Super Bowl drought that they need to extinguish. So I think that if the Chiefs can start a running game, get Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy active, this Chiefs defense, if they can produce turnovers and give the Chiefs offense good field position, and finally, if this offense can score more than they have more consistently on their drives, this Chiefs team will be unstoppable. So, Chiefs Kingdom, hopefully that happens. And if it does, if the Chiefs can go out and execute, the Chiefs will be the team to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 54. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys like these videos and want to support me, go click the link in the description and go support me on my Patreon. I would more than appreciate it. Thank you to Michael Hebner for joining me in this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the KC Sports Report by Michael Darcy.